Ladies and gentlemen, life is always a choice. In the next 5 minutes, your life is going to change. Every child is born with a promise. It's silent, it's invisible, it's a promise of potential. It's a promise that says, who I can be is up to me. How my life becomes is up to me. This promise is in every child, and this promise is in every adult in the audience today. But the sad news is, not everybody will live their promise. Some people die never ever finding their promise. You are the author of your own life. You are writing your story in every moment of the day. And the question is, what does life really mean? Are we all so busy being busy that we forget to find our promise? That we forget to look inwards? That we forget to know what is our potential? One decision made from wisdom will change your life for the rest of your life. From a small village in the UK, a young girl with hand-me-down shoes, second-hand uniforms, now stands on the stage of life before you. This young girl is also a very successful businesswoman, an author. I have written 8 books, and I'm a business and success coach. If I can do it, so can you. Now, I used my intelligence. That was my way out. I applied myself, I was determined, I was disciplined, I was dedicated, and I rose up through the corporate ladder. And I became an executive with 400 staff reporting to me. I was a female executive in an all-male world. And I had 400 staff, we were taking $1 million a week. I worked for a company called Boots. It's a huge pharmaceutical company in the UK. Now, Boots decided to expand internationally. They wanted to go to Asia. They wanted to open stores in Thailand. And they said, Sally, we want you in Thailand. Life gave me an opportunity, and I said yes. I put up my hand, and I said, I'm going to go to Thailand. We opened 70 stores in 3 years. It was fast-paced. We were giving people jobs. We were employing people. It was tremendous. The externals of life were phenomenal. And I was on a high. And then Boots said to me one day, Sally, we want you to come back to England. We want you to downsize the corporate company. Now, those of you that work in the corporate world, you know what this means. It means you make thousands of people redundant. So I had to go back to the UK. My work permit depended on it. But every morning when I woke up, my heart was dying. I just knew this wasn't my job. So life is a choice. I decided after 18 years in senior management, I would walk away and I quit my job. Because I knew I wasn't following my potential. I knew it wasn't what I wanted to do with my life. I had fallen in love with Asia. And I had met a missionary from Australia, and he lived in Thailand. And he had a dream, he wanted to open an orphanage. But he only had a dream, he had no business skills. And here I was, a corporate executive with all the business skills. And I knew that if he only had a dream and he did not take action, his dream would never materialize. So I decided I was going to help this missionary. And I applied my business knowledge, and very soon we'd bought the land, we'd built the well, and we had built our first building in Thailand. We opened an orphanage. So I went, thank you. I went from the corporate world to suddenly opening an orphanage. Now, one day, out of the blue, we received a telephone call. A baby needed our help. But, it wasn't in our plan at that stage. It was too soon. We weren't ready for it. But life gave me a choice. And I decided we have to help this baby. I jumped into the back of a pickup truck. We went down all the winding roads in Thailand. And we eventually arrived at this village. And the homes in the village were nothing like I'd ever experienced before. They were just made of corrugated iron And it was a beautiful, sunshiny day, and I walked into one of these homes, and as you go from the sunlight into one of these homes, you suddenly realize there's no windows. So all I saw inside was the darkness. I went from the sunshine into the darkness. And as I walked in, I could feel beneath my feet the squelchy feeling of mud. So it wasn't like a home you and I know. It was made of iron, and it had a mud floor. So I walked in, my eyes were trying to adjust to the darkness, and suddenly there was this feeling of fear, because over in the corner, I could see something moving. And I suddenly thought, oh my God, it's a huge rat. There's something in the hut moving. But then I realized it wasn't the huge rat. It was a tiny baby. The mother was 16, and she was pregnant. She had no money. She didn't want this child. She was 8 months pregnant. She took the painkillers. She crushed the painkillers up. She mixed them with water, and she injected them into her stomach. She wanted to abort this child. But miraculously, the baby lived. She gave birth prematurely, and the baby survived. She possessed no furniture. The hut was there, and the only piece of furniture she had was a mattress. And during the day, she taped this child to the mattress, and she went out about her work. So I walked over to this corner, and I picked up this poor baby, and I held it in my arms. And I was still in the darkness. And I thought, this feels really strange, because I had this tiny baby in my arms, and it was almost like the skin of the baby was moving. And I knew I had to take this baby outside. So I walked out from the darkness into the sunshine. And that is when my life changed. I looked down, and this tiny baby, 1 month premature, was covered from his feet to his head in black ants. I brushed the ants off quickly. They were biting. And when I looked down, I realized that this baby was bitten from his feet all the way to his head. He had bright red bites. He was screaming in pain, and when he opened his eyes and looked at me, the whites of his eyes were bright green. The ants had crawled and bitten the whites of his eyes. The mother had gone to work. She had taped the child to the mattress. This baby stood no chance. The ants came out of the mud, they crawled on the mattress, they crawled on the baby, they were biting his skin, and they bit his eyes. Straight away we went to the hospital. Not 1, not 2, but 3 injections later, the doctor told me, this child is going to die. Give up on the child, he's going to die. But you know, life is a choice. I chose not to listen to the doctor. I chose not to live in fear. I chose you have to live in love. And I took care of that baby. But you know, life is a choice. Life is a choice. And one question we have to ask ourselves is, do we stay safe? Do we stay in the known? Do we stay in our comfort zones? Or do we step out and experience life? Do we step out and experience possibilities? Do we only step forward when it fits our plans? Or do we look at the opportunities that life gives us? I tell people, step forward. Don't stay in the safe. Don't stay in the knowns. Don't stay in your comfort zone. Step forward in life. You are the author of your own life story. The pen is in your hand. Step forward. You have one life. You have to live it larger. Live it larger than yourself. Live it larger than your family. Live it larger than your community. Live it larger than your title. Go out, leave a legacy, and make a difference. I stepped forward. I made a choice, and this is the baby today. This is the baby today. He's happy, he's healthy, he speaks English, He speaks Thai, he is computer literate, and he is writing the chapter of his own life story. I tell all my clients, do not just go out and celebrate your life. Go out, make a difference, leave a legacy, and I always say, celebrate life. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you. Thank you.